Hey everyone, today I'm going to give you my thoughts on the new Demon Slayer movie. I'm going to be reviewing the movie by the episode. And this is a complete review, so if you haven't seen it or you don't mind spoilers, either way, feel free to stick around. But otherwise, don't say I didn't warn you. Hey guys, welcome back. I know the format looks a little bit different for this video. I'm not live on Twitch, of course, but feel free to go ahead and check that out. That'll be right there. Link will be in the description as well. Anyways, let's get right back into the video. This movie, starts off absolutely with a banger. So the movie starts with the classic season 2 opening with a little recap, which was nice because it was a refresher for myself. And it was really nice that, they had a recap that had a majority of everything that already happened. Now, for once, there's a heart-to-heart with Nezuko and Tanjiro, and I mean, listen, we've heard Nezuko talk before. Like, it's not a surprise or anything like that. But it's been a really, really long time before we actually end up, seeing her speak again. Tanjiro's passed out, and he sees Nezuko within his, little passed out phase dream thing. So she expresses while he is passed out that Tanjiro is quick to blame himself, even when there is no one to blame. And if there is someone else to blame, he obviously blames the other person, but if there is no one to blame, he then resorts to blaming himself. And, Nezuko says like, oh, hey, like, big bro, it's not that serious. Like, we're human, we're meant to fail. Get back up. Let's get right back on that grind. And you know what Tanjiro does? Tanjiro's like, word, you're right. Gets right back up, right? And not only that, when he wakes up, he's getting bullied by upper rank 6. Tanjiro's the last man left, and bro's getting bullied, absolutely thrashed. And then out of nowhere, Tanjiro creates this 1 in a million chance, right? Tengen is, clutches up that 1 in a million chance. Zenitsu also clutches up. Like I said, while Tanjiro was getting bullied, everyone else was, dead, right? Everyone else was passed out, stuff like that. But no. So what ends up happening, Zenitsu comes up, he's the first one to come up from, the dead. And he's like, bro, you created this 1 in a million chance. And with this 1 in a million chance, we're going to win. And you know what they do? They win, of course. Now, flash forward to after that fight scene, because, I'm not going to go into super much details, but, that was really cool. And I just wanted to say, like, that was a really big thing that I liked about episode 10 was, not everyone died. Coming into episode 11, we have Nezuko, and she wakes up. She's like, yo. And then she's like, and, she just stops. The blood art that Upper 6 had casted, that blood art was supposed to destroy not only everything in town, but also everyone in it. Alright, it was supposed to be like a self-destruct button. Nezuko clutches up, she goes into the sky, does a big thing, bada bing, bada boom. Only the village, right? All the people with which there was none, by the way. We're talking about the 4 main characters, and then we got Tengen, and then his three wives. All 3 of them end up living, of course, because of the blood art save. And then Nezuko clutches up one more time because everyone is poisoned at this point. So she comes up, heals everyone, 1 by 1. Oh, well, not healing them, but she takes the poison out of them, which for whatever reason makes it appear as if everyone healed in an instant, which is crazy. We cut back to the demons, right? They're still alive. Upper 6 is a duo. All I'm gonna say is the Upper 6 really pulled on the heartstrings for me. Definitely one of my favorite antagonists. I love to see the backstory and getting to know the antagonists that, became the villains. Normally we're given backstories as the hero, needs to find them out and things like that in order to, use their vulnerabilities against them, stuff like that. But in this one, they have no backstory to go off of. They literally just have like base details, and then, they go, oh, okay, well, and they figure it out while they're fighting, right? Which is absolutely insane. They figured it out while they're fighting. And of course, when the fight is done, it goes into full detail as to why these demons even became demons in the first place. The struggles that made the demons, demons rather than sticking with humanity and stuff like that was quite literally just this shitty situation that they were in. They wanted to get out of it, and they felt like that was the only option. So going back to humanity, the reason why a lot of these demons even fail in the first place is because they have retained a lot of their humanity. Like, and that's what all of their weaknesses have been. And side note, before I continue that little tidbit, the same humanity that causes the demons to fail is the exact same humanity that allows Tanjiro and his crew to win. And I just thought that was pretty crazy to see, you know, both sides of the spectrum. After seeing the humanity that the upper six had with each other, like me as a viewer, before, you know, Tanjiro said anything, because it ends up telling you anyway that like, oh my gosh, you know, me, Tanjiro, and my sister Nezuko could have ended up like this upper six. I feel like they didn't need to say that in order for it to have been known. You know, obviously Tanjiro was a bit luckier, and he ended up getting in contact with, you know, a swordsman before he actually got to live out a few days of trying to protect someone that, you know, was really badly injured. The series didn't need to explicitly say it. Hey, I didn't think you would catch the bigger picture here, so we're just gonna tell you. And for me personally, when I'm watching something, that's something that I don't like. So unfortunately, within this series, that was like only one thing that I didn't like about it was that it's like, oh, something that I caught on to before, they just end up outright telling me later. But it drives the story along, I guess, and you know, it doesn't take away any of the quality or anything like that, but that's just that's like a pet peeve of mine when it comes to films. Finally, something new, right? We're 2/3 into the movie and we finally got something new. And that's one of my biggest complaints as a viewer, is that I've been seeing, and I agree with, is that a movie I paid for nearly $20 and only about 1/3 of it is new content. Anyways, just wanted to throw my complaint out there and just say, like, I can feel the frustration of the community. Let's get right back into season 3, episode 1. It was a really interesting episode. However, I don't believe that it needed a movie, first and foremost. I do not believe that this single episode needed a full movie's release to get the same hype that it did for season 2. Major spoilers. Turn back now if you don't want this spoiled for you. The way that this episode starts off is, for 100 years, nothing has changed. However, me and you as a viewer both know shit is about to go down. Upper rank 6 is down, and all 4 main characters are still, you know, alive. That's all that we know at this point, right? Alright, so upper rank 3, or Lord Akaza, aka ZA, right? And I hope I pronounced that right, correct me if I'm wrong. However, so anyways, upper rank 3 now is joining the pursuit, right? And not only upper rank 3, but all of the rest of the upper ranks. So 6 is down. So we have upper rank 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that are now being introduced to us, right? And let me tell you, the intro for each and every single one of them was the absolute most badass thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. But let me tell you about one of them that I really rocked with. And upper 3 is the first one that they start with, and that one is by far my favorite. He comes out from it like an alternate dimension, and you'll know which alternate dimension I'm talking about if you know, watch the series. So anyways, he comes out of this alternate dimension, he leans over, you know, the buildings and stuff like that, and he just falls. And he is falling for a quick minute before he just does like a power, you know, superhero or the supervillain like stance as he hits the ground. And then as he hits the ground, all of these buildings that, you know, kind of cleared the way for him so he can start dropping down. All of these buildings are clearing the way and he's dropping down, right? As he's dropping down, he lands on the ground, and then all of these buildings that are around him then start to morph downwards and head and like start from his feet. So now it's like a platform and it's pushing him up. So he's standing on the platform and it's pushing him upwards like that, right? And you're getting the bird's eye view from this. So you're seeing it as if, you know, you're bird's eye view, and he's like looking up too. So it's just a really amazing shot. I wish I could show you guys what that upper rank 3 introduction had looked like, but it was really, really cool. And that is a really big reason why I would push you to go see this movie, because half of the episode is introducing the rest of the antagonists, right? That have low-key been a little bit of a secret, right? So they're finally getting introduced, and best introductions. Like, I was not bored for a single minute, and watching these interactions was absolutely crazy. Now, spoiler, or really big major spoiler. Upper 3, right? He's having a little bit of an argument with upper rank 2. Upper rank 1 decides to intervene this little argument, and he's like, yo bro, you better know your place. You're only upper rank 3, bro. And then upper rank 3, he's like, you talking to me? You talking to me, bro? Because like, I'm finna take you down, bro. It's finna be over. That was how he was like, bro. And Wuzong was like, I can imagine that he was probably laughing in his head, bro. He probably thought that shit was so funny. On everything, he probably thought that shit was so funny. But he stands there and he's like, he doesn't kill him, surprisingly. I really thought he was gonna kill, like, I thought he was gonna kill upper rank 3 for threatening him like that. But he knows he needs the numbers right now, so he can't risk it. He's like, you know what? You die in that fight, die. But if you don't die in that fight, try to take my spot. What's good? And then upper rank 3 is like, all right, bro, we'll see. And then, that's where that little interaction with all the antagonists go. We cut back and we're back with Tanjiro. We're back with Tanjiro and the crew. It's 2 months past. Tanjiro has woken up finally. And something, as soon as it cuts to Tanjiro, it's done with all that serious shit. We are in goofy territory. Now let me tell you why. Goofy territory, right? So, firstly we have Tanjiro. He's doing his thing. So the same guy that found him at the end of Entertainment District, he's like a nurse or a doctor or something like that, I can't remember. He's back now, and he's like bringing a little cake, or what was it again? Yeah, it was like a cake or something. The reason why he made the cake was because Tanjiro smells really good, and he thought that would activate something in him to like wake up. So he brought it over, and this guy, he's so silly, bro. And he comes into the room, he sees that Tanjiro's awake, and he throws a fucking cake in the air. He's like, yo, what are you doing? Because there's a girl in his room, and the girl's responsibility was, to tell everyone, when he woke up. But instead, she's like having a little bit of a conversation with him, and this guy comes into the room. He's like, yo, what are you doing? You gotta announce that he's up, bro. Like, that's absolute, I cannot believe that you don't know protocol. And he comes up and he like opens the door, and he's like, yo, everybody, like Tanjiro's up, bro. It's cause for celebration. And then, like, I don't know if he says cause for celebration or anything like that. But anyways, Tanjiro is still conversing with everybody from his bed. He's like, yo, where's Zenitsu? Zenitsu woke up the day before. What are the chances, bro? What are the chances? And then he's like, okay, what about Inosuke? Inosuke? They're like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still asleep or blah, blah, blah. Tanjiro, he's like, so this Inosuke that I see on the ceiling right now, he's a hallucination, right? And it pans to Tanjiro's POV, and you just see everyone around the bed, around him, and they all just like slowly look up like, and Inosuke is on the ceiling, bro. And he's like, almost like Spider-Man almost, right? He's on the ceiling, and I thought, I thought that was so funny personally. One of my favorite moments from that episode. Afterwards, he still doesn't have his sword, which is a little bit of annoying as a viewer. It's kind of like, okay, he's been out for 2 months, why does he not have the sword? The swordsmith that he had previously was still upset with him chipping his sword. And not just chipping it, but absolutely fucking demolishing it. Now, Tanjiro needs to go to Swordsmith Village to get a new one made, because that's the only resort that he can resort to with a Demon Slayer with no sword. So now, after he makes it to Swordsmith Village, we run into 2 new Hashira. We got Genya, and we have Kenroji. There's just multiple goofy moments that occur between Tanjiro and these 2 Hashira after he gets to the Swordsmith Village. So it's very lighthearted, and it's very nice to, finally take a break from all of the seriousness, especially with how long the previous fights were. It's very nice and very, uplifting, especially because what they did accomplish was very, very big. So at this point, if you're like, okay, I've had enough spoilers, I think I'm good, and I still haven't seen it, like, this is the one thing that gives away the importance of the entire episode. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the one thing that's driving the story forward. So if you do not want that story-driven, like, oh, I want to find out what's gonna drive the story later, now is the time to do it. Kenroji then has a conversation with Tanjiro. They're just kind of like having like a friendly conversation and stuff like that. And Kenroji then expresses to Tanjiro, like, hey, there is a really like secret weapon like somewhere within the village, and not only is it secret, not only is it a weapon, but it can increase your power too. And she whispers that part into his ear. That's why I got really close to the mic. She's like, anyways, I don't know if it's real or not, but just thought I'd share. And then Tanjiro is like, bro, I'm gonna go look for this. He's ready to go on his adventure now. And as he's leaving, if I have remembered this correctly, right, there is another Hashira that's there, and his name is Tokyo. And hopefully I'm saying that right, because it's K-I-O, or at least that's what the subtitles said, right? So I'm just kind of going off the subtitles. So Tokyo is another Hashirep, and Tanjiro sees him, and they're having a conversation with one another. And this is one of the things I am going to leave out. So he's having a conversation with two other people. One of them is a kid, and another one's an adult. And let me tell you, very, very fascinating. I liked that this is where they left it as a cliffhanger. Anyways, that is the end of everything. And now I will give my score. And my score is like a solid 6 out of 10. Now, that last episode carried. I'm going to be honest, because like, as a movie, like I said, last 2 episodes are already on Crunchyroll. And so those last 2 episodes, I'm rating the movie right. I'm not rating those episodes. I'm rating the movie as a whole. Because I had already seen them, major point drop, right? I'm sitting at a 2 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 0 because, you know, they still gave us content. So 2 out of 10, right? Because it's 2/3 out of the whole movie. So I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. With the new content for the silly, goofy, lightheartedness and the ability to make me laugh, I'm going to bump that shit up 4 points. So now we have a 6 out of 10 movie. Now, let me know if you agree or disagree with that score, or anything that you think I missed or should include in my next review, or things you would like me to review in the future. Hopefully it was not as many spoilers. I hope to kind of create my own thing to where it's like, this is what I rate it, but I'm going to give it like an official name. I don't really know yet, so let me know with your guys' ideas what I should call it. And then, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and check out the other gaming videos if you haven't already. They're like right here or over there, you know, somewhere between me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, thanks again for watching. See ya.